Good morning, students. The topic which we are going to discuss today is set off and carry forward of losses. In Income Tax Act, this is again another one very important topic where we are going to discuss if an organization or anybody has any kind of loss, then how would he compensate when he is paying the tax liability. Now we will see the description of set off and carry forward of losses. Profit and losses are two sides of coins. As we all know that at times there could be a profit, at times there could be a loss also. The losses of course are hard to digest. However, the income tax law in India does provide taxpayers some benefit of incurring losses too. The law contains provisions for set off and carry forward of losses which are discussed here in this further coming slides. So here the two issues which are of importance are set off of losses, how the loss is set off, and the next stage is how to carry forward those losses. Set off of losses. The meaning is adjusting the losses against the profit or income of that particular year. Losses that are not set off against the income in the same year can be carried forward to the subsequent future years for set off against income of those years. A set off could be an intra-head set off or the set off could be an inter-head set off. Intra-head set off. The losses from one source of income can be set off against the income from another source under the same head of income. For example, loss from business A can be set off against the profit from business B, where business A is one source and business B is another source, and common head of income is business. Further, there are some exceptions to an intra-head set-off also. Losses from a speculative business will only be set off against the profit of the speculative business. One cannot adjust the losses of speculative business with the income from any other business or profession. Loss from an activity of owning and maintaining race horses will be set off only against the profit from an activity of owning and maintaining race horses. Long-term capital loss will only be adjusted towards or against the long-term capital gains. However, a short-term capital capital loss can be set off against both with the long-term capital gain or the short-term capital gain. Losses from a specified business will be set off only against the profit of specified businesses, but the losses from any other businesses or profession can be set off against profit from the specified businesses. Further, we will see how the inter-head adjustments could be done. After the intra-head adjustments, the taxpayers can set off remaining losses against the income from other heads. So first, the set off has to be within the head, that is the intra-head, and if the loss is of higher amount and it could not be set off with the intra-head adjustment, then we will seek the help of inter-head set off. So given below are some of the instances of an inter-head set off of losses. Loss from house property can be set off against income under any head. Business loss other than speculative business can be set off against any head of income except income from salary head. One needs to also note that the following losses cannot be set off against any other head of income, such as speculative business loss, specified business loss, capital loss, losses from an activity of owning and maintaining resources. So these are some of the losses which could not be set off inter-head adjustment. Further, now we will see the meaning of carry forward of losses. Now once we have set off the loss, then after making the appropriate and permissible intra-head and inter-head adjustments, there could still be unadjusted losses. So these unadjusted losses can be carried forward to future years for adjustments against income of these years. The rules as regard carry forward differ slightly for different heads of income. There have been like losses from house property. This can be carried forward up to next 8 years from the assessment year in which the loss was incurred. It could be adjusted only against the income from house property. It can be carried forward even if the return of income for the loss year is belatedly filed. Second, losses from non-speculative business. This can be carried forward up to next 8 assessment years from the assessment year in which the loss was incurred. Can be adjusted only against income from business or profession. Not necessary to continue the business at the time of set off in future years. Cannot be carried forward if the return is not filed within the original due date. Further, speculative business loss, this can be carried forward up to next 4 assessment years from the assessment year in which the loss was incurred. Can be adjusted only against income from speculative business. Cannot be carried forward if the return is not filed within the original due date. Not necessary to continue the business at the time of set off in future years. Specified business laws under section 35 AD. So for this, there is no time limit to carry forward the loss from the specified business under 35 AD. Not necessary to continue the business at the time of set off in future years. Cannot be carried forward if the return is not filed within the original due date. Can be adjusted only against income from specified business under 35 AD. Capital loss. Capital loss can be carried forward up to next 8 assessment years from the assessment year in which the loss was incurred. Long-term capital losses can be adjusted only against the long-term capital gains. Short-term capital losses can be set off against long-term capital gains as well as short-term capital gains. Cannot be carried forward if the return is not filed within the original due date. Losses from owning and maintaining the racehorses. This can be carried forward up to next 4 years, next 4 assessment years from the assessment year in which the loss was incurred. Cannot be carried forward if the return is not filed within the original due date. Can only be set off against income from owning and maintaining race horses only. So from this, some of the important points which to be noted down are, that is, a taxpayer incurring a loss from a source, income from which is otherwise exempt from tax cannot be set off these losses against profit from any taxable source of income. Losses cannot be set off against casual income, that is, casual income could be from your crossword puzzles, winning from lotteries, races, card games, etc. So, dear students, here we have discussed the set off and carry forward of losses. Further classes, we would be discussing some other important topics.